Alright, what is up? This is SLOplays, and I am back at here with some more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero news and information here on the channel with an official confirmation of local multiplayer coming to the game. It's official. There's no leaks at this point in time. This is all stated on the official site. It's finally here, and I am so happy about it. If you guys recall, a few days ago, we had that leak with PlayStation where they changed it from 1 player to 2 players, and then they changed it back to 1 player again, and people were kind of like, you know, confused. I saw people upset. I was personally just annoyed by it because I was like, y'all playing with our emotions. But no, I think a good majority of us also knew that if they left out any type of local multiplayer, it would just be a massive L, okay? I think the game would still be very successful and sell, you know, pretty well. Maybe not as much as it would now with this reveal, okay? Everything that was shown in that last trailer, it just alleviated any, you know, concerns I had with the game. I mean, at least for me personally, maybe you still are concerned about certain things or you're not satisfied with certain things, and that's entirely fine. It's going to be up to you, your own volition, if you want to purchase this game or not, okay? But just to show you guys how successful it was, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, the release trailer that happened yesterday, reached #1 on trending for gaming, okay? Not of all time for everything, just for gaming, which is still major. An anime game reaching #1, okay, and surpassing, okay, even the entire Summer Game Fest event is huge, okay? I know Dragon Ball is popular. We know Dragon Ball is very popular and everybody loves it, but for an anime game to surpass everything that was shown at the entire Summer Game Fest is pretty insane. Even if it was for a minute, right? It was obviously short-lived, okay? I don't know where it's at right now. I'm pretty sure it already has over 1 million views. This game is going to make history. It's going to break records. People, everyone and their mom, their grandma, their dogs, their alien buddies that live on Pluto, whatever, I don't care. Dude, we all get in this game, and we all catching these hands, right? It's going to be amazing. So, again, this right here, to clarify and to kind of go over the specifics of it, it says on the official site, rivals make you stronger. Challenge other players online to test your skills, or sit down with friends offline to hone your skills exclusively in the hyperbolic time chamber. Fight your way to become a champion across various tournament modes and victory conditions. So for those of you that wanted a tournament mode or were hoping for it, it's definitely returning. I'm pretty sure they'll do some type of like tournament of power mode. I think would be really, really interesting. But something that is interesting on here is it says, hone your skills exclusively in the hyperbolic time chamber. I don't know if they meant literally or if it's like a figure of speech here where they're just kind of like, oh yeah, you train with your buddies in the time chamber, you know, like to get stronger in a sense, right? Or do they literally mean you can only like exclusively play on the hyperbolic time chamber stage? Or I don't know what that really means yet. I don't want to look too deep into it, but I just found that a little bit interesting. Y'all let me know how that would be interpreted. Maybe I'm missing something. Not exactly sure what exactly, but I don't care. At this point, we're getting offline, local multiplayer, 1v1. I'm so happy about that, okay? I don't know if it's going to be more than that, if there's going to be like 2v2 or whatever, but like, again, we'll go over all these specific info and details. I'm just so happy that I'm able to play with my brother without him having to go buy another PS5 and another, you know, Sparking Zero game. At this point, bro, I'll buy like 15 PS5s and like 7,074 Sparking Zero copies just to look at, because this game is so peak and it's so hype and it ain't even out yet, and I'm just gonna invest so much into this. Like it's gonna be amazing. But if you go on the Japanese website, they have all the specific, you know, details and specs for the PS5, Xbox Series XS, and the Steam version. We'll go over Steam requirements from what was shown from a couple of people on Twitter here. I'm not sure exactly where they found it, but like I said, we'll go over it. So as you guys should know, that the game will run in 4K for any console, with the exception of Steam. Obviously, it can run 4K in Steam, but if your PC is garbage or ass or just runs like shit, or, you know, it's not, you know, up to date with the, you know, decent specs or equipment or whatever, then obviously the minimum, I guess, is going to be 720p for you guys. Or, I mean, maybe you could make it even smaller. Again, PC and Steam, don't look too deep into how they're doing things on it, just because it's all dependent on your, you know, actual computer, right? But yeah, you can get to 4K with it. There will be HDR. Again, with Xbox Series S, you're limited to 2K. It says enhanced support. I'm assuming that means like maybe like faster loading and just, you know, basic stuff like maybe slightly enhanced graphics, you know, some little things, right? Again, you could probably achieve that still on the Steam version. It's just, you know, dependent on your requirement, your specs, right? Frame rate, 60 frames. Online features, okay? So it says main game is single player, okay? Again, I think that just means like the basic main game, with the exception of obviously like a versus mode or whatever, which again, that is confirmed. There will be offline, you know, versus. And then it says number of players online, number of online players. Tenkaichi Budokai supports up to 8 players. I think that's what they're calling it for the 8-player mode or online mode or whatever. They're just going to call it the Tenkaichi Budokai. The Budokai Tenkaichi is real. It's Tenkaichi 4, y'all. We're on Tenkaichi 17. So yeah, 8 players is insane. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, if that's going to be like 2v2, 4v4, or something like that. I don't know if it's going to be on the screen at the same time or if it's going to be swapping between players. You know, you can do that like normally. Maybe that's what it means. Wasn't there confirmed like 5v5 or whatever, something like that, in that initial scan that we got? So something like that. It says supports up to 8 players. Just, I'm not going to look too deep into it, but just know online play is going to be huge. A lot of people playing it, right? Right here, online feature, paid service subscription. Yeah, you're going to have to pay, obviously, for online. But if you have it on PC, you don't, right? And again, we'd be getting that PC version mainly for mods. I mean, at least I am. You already know the modding game is going to go crazy, I hope. Okay, now this is bad. I don't want to say bad translations, but just don't look too deep into this. It says number of players who can play offline with local communication. Okay, it says incompatible, but it also says right at the bottom with a little asterisk, offline multiplayer with up to 2 players is possible in versus mode. So maximum, I guess, will be 2 players for the versus, right? That's all you need to worry about. Don't worry about that incompatible part. I don't know what. Yeah, just disregard that. Now, here is how big the game is, okay? Required HDD capacity for the PS5 version will be 56 gigs, okay? Number of save data, 1. Replay data is separate from the main save data. Maximum required capacity may vary slightly. I guess for the Xbox Series XS version, it's going to be smaller. It's going to be 38 gigs. And the Steam version is going to be 33 gigs, okay? I'm wondering if that has to do with the fact that it's also taking into consideration the Series S version, I guess? Compatibility, I'm not sure what that... It just says compatibility, so it says none, whatever. Save data transfer, incompatible. Are they... I don't exactly know what that's specifying. Or are they saying like, oh, like... I don't even know. Right? I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, cross-platform, let's get into that. Yeah, there's no cross-platform. For those of you that were hoping for it, sorry. That's just... It is what it is, right? I think most of y'all are going to be playing on PS5 anyways, so I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. PS5 has always been like the main console when it comes to Dragon Ball games and just anime games in general. So it's not that big of a deal. Obviously, I would have loved cross-platform, cross-play or whatever. Maybe in the future they can do an update if the demand is, you know, there. So the Xbox Store finally got updated, and the game is back. So for those of you that were worried about it not coming to Xbox, or if it was canceled or whatever, relax, don't worry. Like I said, they already announced it to be on every platform. So if it wasn't on Xbox, that would make no sense at all, right? I think they just had a glitch in the system, and then they were just like, at this point, let's just wait for the reveal. We'll update everything at the same time whenever we actually get the specific versions, etc., right? So we got some interesting stuff on here. First and foremost, we'll go on the PlayStation Store because it does, again, update to show 1 to 2 players, okay? Now, there are no tags on here that specify that there is split screen. However, on the Microsoft and the Steam Store, it does add shared split screen. Again, I made the mistake of looking into it. I mean, obviously, we know there's local multiplayer now, but we jumped the gun. We definitely jumped the gun whenever it got late, and then they switched it back, right? I don't want to jump the gun this time around, but I'm just putting it out there because, again, they haven't really clarified exactly how this is gonna work. Again, it just says sit down with friends offline. It doesn't specifically say split screen, shared, whatever, okay? Now, it does say shared / split screen. So that can be interpreted both ways. It's either, traditional split screen that a lot of people want, or it's going to be Xenoverse Jump Force style where it's a fixed camera that works around just, having both players on screen at the same time without it being, your own little screen, right? That's what split screen is, right? But again, Xbox local multiplayer, it's there for that anybody that was still worried. I know some people are still worried. But yeah, I just found that kind of interesting. And the same thing goes for Steam. It says shared split screen PvP, okay? So, yeah, I don't want to look too deep into it. I'm gonna go with being a little bit more, how do I want to say this? I guess I just don't want to get my hopes up, and I don't want you all to get your hopes up. So, for those of you that wanted split screen, just think of it like it's going to be Xenoverse 2 style, okay? If that annoys you or makes you upset, I'm sorry. That's just my interpretation of it right now until we get more information. But I'm just happy local multiplayer is here so that I can play with my brother. That's all I really care about, and I'm sure others will be happy with it as well. I don't think it's that big of a deal, okay? Now let's go over what Creeps posted. Shoutouts to them because they got this from Eat the Herb, so shoutouts to them. It seems that Sparking Zero won't be too difficult to run well if you have mid to high range PC. Low-end PCs aren't completely out of the question either. We finally have a minimum and recommended requirements. So, I'm not going to... Okay, I'll just break down the specifics of it, okay? For those of you that know or don't know, I'm just going to read it off. Minimum, you got to have Windows 10. You got to have an Intel Core i7-4790 or an AMD Ryzen 5 1500X. The memory, you got to have 12 gigs of RAM. Graphics, 1080p, 30 FPS. NVIDIA GTX 660, 2GB. Or an AMD HD 7850, 2GB. DirectX version 11. You need 30 gigs of storage available. Additional notes, memory, 12 gigs, 4K, 30 FPS, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060, 6GB, AMD R9 Fury, 4GB. And for recommended, okay, which is, again, the minimum is just to run the game, and it's probably not going to look great. Recommended is to run the game and have it look decent, right? And again, it's all dependent. If you have a just beast PC, you're going to be able to play 4K, 60 FPS, max settings, shadows, bloom, all that shit, right? Again, OS, you need Windows 10. Processor, Intel Core i7 77 or 7700K, whatever. AMD Ryzen 5 3600X. Memory, you still need 12 gigs of RAM. Graphics, 1080p, 30 FPS. NVIDIA GeForce GTX 780, 3GB, or AMD RX 480, 4GB, DirectX version 12, okay? Storage, 30GB available space, and additional notes for memory. If you have 16 gigs, I guess you can bump it up to 4K, 30 FPS, with NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060S, 6GB, or AMD RX 6650 XTG 6GB, whatever. I don't know why I read any of that off. Not like anybody really needed me to, but I'm just doing it because, I don't know, maybe people like to listen to me yap. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, those are your specs. You can pause it if you need to go over it. Build a brand new PC. I might have to build a new PC for this because I want this game to run like butter, okay, whenever it drops. So Those are all the details that you need to know. Local multiplayer is coming. I don't know exactly if it's going to be split screen, but it's probably going to be Xenoverse 2 shared screen multiplayer. Yeah, and those are the specs and everything that you need to know. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, comment down below. I got more videos coming for y'all. I'm going to be recording that, getting that edited, and it'll be up a little bit later. But for now, enjoy this one, and thank you guys for watching. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe here on the channel, ring my notification bell. We got a ton of Sparking Zero content coming your way every day. Peace out.
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.